somewhere between 5 and 10 counteroffers. When you're representing a seller, you're going to get offers. Don't be offended, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. We're going to have to negotiate somewhere between 5 and 10 counteroffers. Okay? And that's really the market right now. Interest rates have actually dipped. Believe it or not, interest rates have gone down a little bit. However, you're seeing loans at 6.5%. Not that far away from hard money. There's some hard money loans out there that are low 7s, high 7s. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the lender market and how they're going to, take care of our buyers and sellers. But when you're getting buyers pre-approved and they're using down payment assistance, have conversations with your lenders about premium pricing. Is there anything you can do in-house to get the buyer a better deal at a little bit higher interest rate and keep it in-house? Okay, any questions on that?
So if they keep it in-house, they'll have a higher interest rate?
They could, because the lender can do what's called premium pricing, where instead of using government down payment assistance, they do it in-house, but it is affected in the rate. Okay? You're going to get back into buyers wanting to get closing costs. It's going to happen. Just as a listing agent, make sure you let that know. Say, hey, listen, your home may not appraise at value or at what we are listing it for, and the first thing that would go would be the buyer's closing cost. But until that happens, feel free to negotiate the closing costs in. I would start at 3% for all of you that are representing buyers, and then I would kind of scale through that, okay? Any questions on that? That's kind of where we're at right now. We'll probably be in that market for the most part until April, May. And then we're gonna know whether we go back into a traditional seller's market like we did last summer. I think we're going to. I actually believe that we are going to have a hot summer buying season, and a lot of it's just gonna be because agents are pushing through this market. We think it's shifting, we think it's going south, so we're just gonna work a little harder, and we're gonna do some more business from that. Any questions? Do I need to go through the graphs? I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Yep. Nothing has changed since last month.
Besides our median price went down.
Yeah, because the market price is shifting, but I think next month it's gonna go back up. Okay, so that's our sales meeting. Everybody can leave.
The rest you can just read through. It's self-explanatory.
So I have been struggling with, well, let's back up. Most of you in this room know that I got a chance to go meet Gary Keller. And one of the things that I talked to Gary Keller about is how are we going to grow Keller Williams, and how are you going to get more money into the agent's pocket, and how are you going to allow agents to expand across borders? And he talked about this whole virtual expansion opportunity. He says, we're gonna have kind of set caps and you're gonna be able to kind of do statewide recruiting and virtual models, and you can now have your kind of brokerage in a brokerage. It will roll out at Family Reunion. Who in the room can tell me when Family Reunion was?
February.
A month and a half ago or a month
Okay.
ago.
No response. They didn't launch anything. I look at all of you and I see where you're going to go with your production and where you want to go and why you're on my team. And I break it down to 3 really important bullet points. Bullet point number 1 is how do I get you to make the money you want, such that by you making that money, you're okay paying the team their split. Okay, fair enough. It's a business relationship. Yeah. I'm okay paying you Saks Fifth Avenue prices, provided you're giving me really good quality advice, systems, training tools, mentorship, guidance, all that good stuff. But if you're giving me Walmart, maybe even Target, I'm gonna pay you accordingly. So I'm constantly looking at that. The second thing is I have people on my team that join the team with the intention of relocating and being able to duplicate the team and create their own expansion. And so, and then third, and last but not least, is people genuinely actually want to be in business with me. I think you're crazy, but there are certain people on the team that say, I'm in business because it's you, Craig. And if you ever left the team, I might, the rest of it's irrelevant. Number 1 and number 2, not that big of a decision maker for me, so I might get out of business with you. Just depends. So those are the 3 things that I'm constantly gauging the team and where we're going, where we're coming. So every time I make a change, every time I lose an agent, I can pretty much contribute it to one of those 3. And so this year I said, we have to net 300 deals. I want to gross 50 agents, net 25 agents. I want to reduce all of our fixed expenses to variable I want to put more money in the agent's pocket. So the answer was this virtual brokerage with Keller Williams, and I'm thinking, okay, makes sense. I'm excited about it. Gary talks about it. Nothing's happening. So then I think, okay, another opportunity that I think we will build momentum on is Command. I'm thinking, so I dived all in on Command, guys. I mean, you know it because I was teaching the classes. Like I did a lab. Like, how can I sell Command if I'm not the guy that knows all about Command? So I dive in on that, and I'm thinking, okay, family reunion, this thing's really going to launch. And it was really hard for me to talk with Command, guys. Like, it is so discombobulated, and I'm already seeing other systems out there that are coming out that are already ahead of Command. And you know what, when I dove it, and I'm just being transparent with you all, call me a hypocrite if you want. I started looking at Command, and I said, there's more bolt-on technology in this system than I want to believe. He's just buying the companies. So I thought to myself, where am I? Where is my team right now? And what are we getting? Because my 3 core business goals are more money in my agent's pocket, expansion, and then people who want to be in business with me. So I'm like, well, why are we where we're at? But I never did anything about it. I kept my mouth shut. I promoted my team and my market center and Keller Williams, and I've done all that stuff. But in the background, I have been doing some very deep soul searching and research. Last week, as some of you know, I get an email that says we're going to be raising rents by 10 cents a square foot. Now, on the surface, it makes sense. I mean, come on, we're in a shifting market, and I get why people have to do what they have. And I think to myself for a minute, I say, okay, Team Tiffy has the most rent out of everybody in the office, so we pay more than everybody else. Craig's on the ALC, and nobody even wants to let me know ahead of time. Not because I have a say, I think it's an owner decision, but because I think it's the ALC's job to go and either do damage control or promote the reasons why we have to raise rents. Now, it's not substantial. It's 10 cents a square foot. For me, it's like $80 a month. But $80 is $80.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to cut costs, increase agent splits or bottom line, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Gary Keller says we must reduce costs. Gary Keller says we must always act on behalf of the agent. What part of raising rents and passing the buck to the agents is acting on behalf of the agents?
Yeah.
So I didn't make a decision out of that, but I did go to Shirley and I made a comment. And I said, you couldn't go to the ALC, because I'm sure they did their budgets last year. You couldn't go to the ALC and say, hey guys, we're gonna have to raise rents. So damage control, pros, cons, what do you think the market's gonna do, market center's gonna do, what do you think the agent, like how do we strategize and roll this thing out in a more passive manner? No, she sends an email on March 5th and says that on April 1st, rents will be raised. You don't even give me 30 days. So not even going down the whole legal side, because technically we have a lease agreement, even though I've never signed mine because I didn't agree with the lease.
Of course.
There's an implied lease.
Yeah.
So I didn't say anything about it. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna just voice my opinion and I'll bring it up at the next ALC. There was a situation last month, and this is me, I'm gonna bring this up because I wanna tie it together. I'm not bringing this up because it's a problem. Somebody received the Spirit Award, and it was perceived that the Spirit Award recipient was voted on by the ALC and agreed to by the ALC. And the ALC didn't even know about the Spirit Award until the team meeting. And all of us on the ALC got a thank you card from the Spirit Award winner, and that was awesome. And my position is, I don't know if I would have voted for that person or not. I never got an opportunity, but it was implied on behalf of the Market Center that the ALC voted for that person and made the decision. And so when I brought it up to our team leader, the answer was, oh, I was going through the slides that morning and I realized that we didn't nominate somebody, so I just picked someone. And I said, that's not your job. That's the ALC's job. This isn't a tenacity award. This is a spirit award. Somebody who is in the spirit of Keller Williams and our Market Center. Tenacity is like, you finally shift your business, you finally get your ass to show up for 24 days in a row or 66 days in a row, and we want to reward the good behavior. There are people in this market center who should get the tenacity award all day, every day. Spirit award is somebody who genuinely oozes, you know, Kool-Aid, and they really are a believer of our belief system. So I took that. I took the fact that we got this email that rents are raising. The next day, I get an email from Denise that says, John has 2,900 black and white copies. You're paying for this, right? And I went, excuse me? First of all, what the hell's John doing with 2,900 black and white copies? When have I ever seen him at the copier? And, you know, does he have a side hustle? And you know what? You gave John a code because he had a license at one time in our market center. Shame on you for not taking the code away when he decided to go inactive, because that was a decision. Why would you ever think that I would pay for his cost? I have my own codes, I have my own admin codes. If I break my system here and somebody comes up to anybody and says, I need to make copies, oh my God, trust me, I will eat the cost and have you copy on the copier. Because my job is to make sure that you're efficient in your business.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to go, it won't copy, it won't print, it won't do this. So I'll be quick to say, I'll eat the cost. Go make copies on the copier. But why would the market center think that it's my job to pay for 2,900 copies, which is over $100 of just copy charges? And they didn't ask me. They just said, you're paying for this, right? No, I'm not paying for it. Figure it out. An hour later, I get another email, as all of you did, that says it's come to our attention that people are on their phones in the hallway. And some of you are cussing. Now, this was last Monday, I believe, when they were tree trimming outside, maybe Tuesday. And so I responded back to that email. I said, well, first of all, it's Mike, the maintenance guy, who's also known as the parking Nazi, who is coming in because one person's walking down the hallway on their phone, but it's okay for Mike to keep his door open, talk at the top of his lungs, be in the main lobby, which is echoey, and talk and go out there and, you know, put stickers on our clients' cars, because I've actually had a client.
Yeah, put one on mine too.
I've actually had, well, don't say that out loud, because then he's gonna say, well, yeah, you're an agent, you deserve to get a sticker on your car. But we've had clients
Yeah, visitor.
actually show up and park in the visitor parking lot, and he has not taken the thing off, but he slid it in the window. Thank God he didn't take the paper off. That's a client. That was a client of mine. That was my attorney. Not Tom, but it was an attorney client of mine. And I complained about it and nothing ever happened. So I wrote back and I said, so it's okay for all that, and because he says, the email said that the lenders and escrow companies are complaining. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, we're in real estate. We're a prospecting-based brokerage. What's the one thing we should probably be doing every day at our office?
On the phone.
On the phone. So figure out a solution, don't box us in. Like if you've got 50 people in your office that are all on the phone, that's a good problem. Figure it out. Figure out a solution. Like make this now the designated prospecting space for people who are loud and obnoxious. Whatever. And I said, and then, because their argument was, well, people are coming to, the title and escrow companies are complaining. I said, so now you're telling me it's okay for you to parade them through the office. Some of you experience this, some of you don't. They come through the office whenever they want. They knock on our door and they open the door
Yes.
without any regard for what we're
Yes.
doing. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute. This is like a double-sided situation here. I thought it was all about the agents. Now it seems like it's all about the management and that we're becoming more and more like employees. Now I have enough of that problem just on the team because we're a dependent team.
Yeah.
But I sure the hell don't need it on the outside.
Yeah.
Like I need to make sure that you guys breathe enough.
Yeah.
So then on Friday, I'm at home because you guys, I don't come to the office on Fridays, and I'm at home and I'm getting ready to go to Terry's mastermind, and I get a phone call from Terry Olson, who is the Dofi at Green Valley. Hey, Terry Brinkins wants to know if you're coming to the mastermind. Yeah, I'm coming. Already RSVP. Okay, thanks. So then I get a text message from Terry Brinkins saying, are you coming to the mastermind? Yeah, I'm coming to the mastermind. Is there anything you want to talk about? I'm like, no, don't really have anything specific I need to talk about. I just, you know, my team, I'm just working on all the noise, just kind of getting everybody focused, and we're focusing on production. Okay, well, what kind of noise? And I said, well, you know, when it comes to recruiting, there's some value propositions out there that I'm having to overcome. Well, what do you mean? She says, what do you mean? I said, well, there's brokerages that are, you know, changing their models to kind of, you know, keep up with the times. And, well, what brokerages? It doesn't matter what brokerages, Terry, just, there's competition out there. And I said, but there's also competition for listings too. I said, everybody around me is taking a 1% listing. Hell, some of them are taking a 0.5% listing. And I said, and I'm starting to have conversations with my team about what's more important, you taking the listing and hopefully being able to sell it, or taking the listing at 3% to you and it's gonna expire. So I said, there's just noise. There's just noise. There's the market shifting. There's, you know, I'm not hitting my numbers. There's just noise going on. Come on in, come close.
Yeah.
This is gonna get a little more personal. You too, come in close.
Oh.
So
Sit.
I said, there's just noise, and my job is to get the noise out of the way. At the end of the day, if my team and I aren't closing deals, nothing else matters. So I went to the mastermind, and I was very quiet. Like, there wasn't a lot of people at the mastermind, and the energy was very,
Dark?
no. It was, it was a very self-discovering environment for everybody in the room. Like, the questions that were brought up were very internalized and about people's individual business.
Yeah.
Not how do we make Keller Williams great again.
Yeah.
That worked well. MKWGA.
Oh, no.
We should get some hats. So I left, and Terry texted me, and she said, did that help? I said, well, I don't know that it helped. I said, that was the first time I was so quiet in the room. I was just taking it all in. I wanted to know, does everybody else feel the way I feel? You know, am I the only one that thinks this way? Because I'm a little progressive sometimes, and sometimes I act a little irrationally. I know what I want, I know when I want it, and you're either on the boat or you're off the boat. So I just kind of wanted to walk away and digest it. So afterwards, she texts me, and she's like, well, do you want to meet me? I'm like, yeah, I know what you look like. I don't need to meet you. I've got, like, I can text you, you can text me back. I'm like, no, I don't need to meet you. I just left you. Is there anything you want to talk about? I'm like, no, there's nothing I want to talk about. And in the back of my head, I'm like, do I now drop the ball and say, Terry, what the fuck do you want? Just spit it out. Just say what you want to say.
Because if somebody asks you so many questions like
And that never asks me
And
those
like,
questions.
4
Yeah.
texts in a day?
you wanna say
Yeah, it would be
Unusual
like me.
behavior.
It would be like me, who's very direct with you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you do this weekend? What's your numbers? To say, hey, is everything okay? Brian, you all right? Feeling good? Did you have a good weekend? Anything you want to tell him? You want me to get some more coffee for you? Like, Brian's gonna look at me going, what?
What the hell's going on here?
So I got, so that was on a Friday, so Monday morning I went into Sean's office and I'm like, Sean, what's going on here? Terry, this, that, I didn't tell him anything about the emails because I wasn't prepared. But I definitely wanted to ask him about Terry. He's like, yeah, I don't know why. He's like, you know, we did transmittal last month, because this was Monday, so it's like 3rd or 4th or 5th. So we did transmittal last Thursday, and you know, she gets a copy of the top-down report. And I'm like, yeah, okay, and? She's like, well, you know, she probably sees that you're not in the top 3. She probably sees that you're not in the top 10. She probably saw that you were number 29. I'm like, yeah, and? Look at my numbers last year.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers the year before. I'm actually higher up now at this time of the year than I am. I don't ramp up until March, April. It's how my business has always been. I end the year strong. And I said, and? So I went and got a copy of the top-down report, and I did the math. $1.2 million in production away from number 3. We have $1.7 million in closings this month alone. Now, I didn't know that when I'm talking to him, because I never pulled the top-down report. I pull a top-down report when we close a transaction. But a part of me is like, she wants to reach out to me because she wants to make sure that we're gonna make her money. I get it, understand. Or she sees an issue. So I went and talked to Sharon, and I said, Sharon, I have been looking at other models, brokerages, talking to other teams, what are they doing, why are they doing it, because I have these 3 cores, and I'm not sure that I am providing the value to these 3 quarters. And she, she promoted me and she said, just do whatever you gotta do. I love the fact that you're looking out for your team first and, just go do your homework. And so I did my homework. And then I narrowed it down. And I narrowed it down to the fact that, yes, we are shifting and we are shifting fast. And this is not gonna be an economic shift. It's gonna be a technology shift. It's gonna be a value shift to the agents. The agents are gonna have to have resources to do more with less. The agents need more leads. The agents need more better leads. The agents need a higher level of coaching, training, mentorship to convert faster. Because I used to think that I was about a 90-day conversion with a brand new agent from 0 to transaction, and I'm gonna say that I'm about 6 months. Looking at the numbers that I've looked for the last 4th quarter, 1st quarter, I'm about 6 months. Having said that, I'm also looking at the average individual agent, and they are closer to 12 months now. Closer to 12 months. So even though we still have a fast track, we're like, it's taking longer to get somebody into production because the business is just not readily available. So in the business, I started saying, well, how do I give them more leads that are more readily available? Because if I don't do it, they're gonna do it. And I started to say, well, how do I give them more money? I narrowed it down to a couple of individual brokerages that have some really good opportunities, and I narrowed it down to EXP. So how many in the room know who Fred and Kevin, Fred Weaver, Kevin Kaufman, 4610 Network? Who knows who they are? Okay, so Fred and Kevin were in Gary Keller's top 100. They're in his Pirate group. They are the largest team in Phoenix. They are in 7 different states and 7 markets, including New Mexico and California. Actually, no, they just.
No, they're not, they're in California, they don't have one in San Diego.
They don't have one in San Diego.
They're
They
northern.
had, they closed.
Yeah,
Right.
they're northern.
So I started talking to them. So Fred and Kevin are personal friends of my coach. And I started talking to them and I said, listen, I went and met with Gary. Gary's not delivering, and this is what's happening in my market center. And at the end of the day, I'm recruiting a lot of people and I'm starting not to buy in. I'm bought into Keller Williams for now, but I said, my team is growing and my team needs to earn more money and I need to be able to expand. Talk to me about your models. And so the comment, and we're gonna dive into that, but I want you to understand that the reason why I started talking to other people was, is there an opportunity for all of you to have a lower cap, make more money? Is there an opportunity for me to spend less money on systems and tools so that I can give you better splits, okay? Cap is what you pay the brokerage, splits are what you pay the team. Is there an opportunity for you to make more money? So a year ago in June, I was at a mastermind. Some of you know that because you were on the team. I was at a mastermind in Phoenix with Jason Abrams, Brian Gubernack, and Brett Tanner, who were personal friends. They own market centers with Fred and Kevin. When Fred and Kevin said, we're leaving Keller Williams and going to EXP. I was sitting in the room that day. In fact, I think you had texted me, Ed had texted me, like everybody was texting me, oh, do you know about this? Yeah, I'm actually in the room and it's being delivered. The one thing, so a year ago, I looked at EXP and I was looking for one reason why I should stay at Keller Williams. And so I quickly dismissed everything. I talked to some other brokers here, I quickly dismissed it all. Now I am looking at EXP because nothing else is competing. EXP is a publicly traded company, and even though that might be a long-term problem, it's a short-term opportunity, so you get revenue share. EXP is a one-cap operation, which means that Connor, who has a license here in Las Vegas, or Brian, who has a license here in Las Vegas, wants to expand, they only pay the one cap. They don't pay a team cap here, which is gonna be $10,500 and then $16,000 there. Okay, they only pay one cap. They also have revenue share, which means that when they cap, they start generating income back up to $16,000. They actually get their cap back in the form of stock. You can buy stock at a 20% discount for every transaction that you close. The cap structure is half of what it is at Keller Williams. So for a Rainmaker, it's $16,000. I pay $18,000, okay, plus a cap management fee. For an agent, you guys pay $10,500. You would drop down to $8,000. Once we hit a certain status, it's called icon status, you drop down to $4,000. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've capped or not. As you expand, or you decide to get your license in another market, you pay the one cap. It's a virtual space, and so we literally could have our team meeting in a virtual training room. We could all go in, close the doors, and we could literally do everything. So if somebody's on vacation, if somebody wants to work from home that day, something like that, we still have our engagement. They use the system called Conversion, same system that Terry Breakus and her team are using. I did a little playing around with it over the weekend. You get Core included in your tech fee. We would upgrade to the team version and I would pay that expense, which is still a reduction of what I'm paying for Brevity. But SkySlope, BombBomb, Mojo, Hello Me, Workspace for Facebook, and a half a dozen other things, they all integrate. So it's one, you go into one platform and it's all there. You don't have to like log into Dotloop over here, transfer the document over here, it's all integrated. Everything stays in the same space. You as an agent could pay for ad spend on your own if you wanted, where those ads only go into your system. It has its, kind of like Command had that, it has its own thing for the agents that has nothing to do with the team owner. You could literally go in and say, well, I want to run some Facebook ads, and I want to run some pay-per-clicks, or I want to import from a third-party lead generation system, and it allows you to do those things. So I started talking with Fred and Kevin. They own 4610 Network. They are no longer in Las Vegas. They also own Next Level Agents. It's a Facebook group. Who in the room is on that? They own it, along with Cody Gibson. If we made the decision to move, we would align ourselves under them, and we would have their support and mentorship, guidance, coaching, all that stuff to the extent that we wanted. I'm heavily considering it. And I'm heavily considering it for two reasons. It falls in line with the three core principles for the team, putting more money back in your pocket. It also, I'm looking at it because I have my own ecosystem. I mean, my team is my team. We're not really leveraging the market center. In fact, we are giving back to the market center at the highest level. We're the one team entity that's giving back more than everybody else. I don't know how much love is there. Sharon tells me there's a lot of love. Okay, fine. Not this Sharon, Sharon Broker. Sharon tells me there's a lot of love no matter what. I told her she should teach a contracts class, not because she's closed a lot of deals yet, because she's only been in business 8 weeks, but she's written a lot of contracts. It's like, I'm good. But yeah, you know, I mean, there was a time when I think you had written a whole crap load of contracts. So I look at EXP for the financial opportunity. Now, I have brought a few of you in the room into my inner circle in the last week because I needed you to talk on behalf of the rest of the agents. And I needed you to ask the right questions to Fred and Kevin and myself, and I needed you to be their ALC, so to speak. And you did, and some of you had some very valid concerns, like, hey, we like a physical space, Craig, what are you gonna do about that? I would get a physical space.
Okay.
I would absolutely get an office space because I recruit a lot of people, and not everybody is qualified to join the team. And I don't really have an opportunity right now. So you're either on my team or you go into the world somewhere, and I don't know where you end up. 2 on the Breakus team, 2 in KW Las Vegas, in the Mashak group that I know of. And I don't know where everybody else went. So I would probably create a space that we all kind of agreed on. I have a couple of ideas and options. I'm already paying rent here.
Yes.
So it's not even an additional cost. In fact, I could save some money. And we'll go through those numbers at another time, but I'm actually looking to save some money and put it back into immediate ad spend in a couple of ways. I'm considering dumping a little bit of money into Zillow right now, not because I want to be in bed with Zillow. I know that we can convert Zillow leads at a higher level than anything else, and I just want you guys to, I want 300 deals. And if I break even at 300 deals this year, that's you guys saying, you know what, I capped, I rock and roll this year, like I hit my numbers, like that's my goal. So I'm not against spending a little money, because what will happen is as I'm recruiting, I'm able to bring these people into kind of a team light environment where they're not on our team, but it also gives you guys an opportunity to scale and kind of be able to grow your business, get into a scaling commission split with me. And then if you so choose, there's some other revenue opportunities for you where you could mentor. There would be some requirements there, but if you hit those numbers, you could then mentor a new agent from 0 to 3 deals, and you would get a percentage of their splits. You also would be able to recruit to your downline, just like you do at Keller Williams, and you would have revenue share on that. Hey, Brandon. You would have revenue share on that. And so, how can I increase that bottom line? Like, that's what's really, really, really important for me. Not to mention that there's a lot of resistance going into this path because it's new, it's innovative. You know, well, yeah, so was this at one time.
Oh, yeah.
So we either get on the bandwagon or we get off the bandwagon. So here's what I'd like to do at this point. I'd like, and I'm going to take some notes. I'd like for some of you that were part of the initial conversations to talk about what you heard, what you said. Hi, Howard. Talk about what you heard, what you said, so that the rest of the team. And then I just want to open this up because here's the reality. All of you are a decision maker, and even if the decision is that you're not on board, that's okay. How can I help you in your business? And how can I transition you into what you want to do? But I think I put enough time and energy into this that I believe that everybody is on board. And if you're not, then let's be transparent about it. So, who wants to have a conversation? I'm sure I know you're like tiptoeing on the floor here, excited to talk. Go ahead.
I guess you gotta have a question for.
Okay. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
No, they all just got knocked upside the head. Like, what the hell? I mean, how do people feel?
Wait,
Like,
what?
does anybody feel the way I feel?
Yes.
So
Okay,
I think the biggest thing that I've learned.
This was warm.
Yeah. The biggest thing I've learned from the conversations is the savings of money, because you won't. It's not like you're going to generate more money, but you'll save more money on the back end.
Well, we will generate.
Well, you will
Yes.
generate more
Yeah.
money, but you'll also save more money because once you hit the mega icon status.
So talk about Mega Icon, because you know it better than everybody.
So the mega
And
icon.
Sharon just missed the best part of it.
Yeah. So
But-
mega icon is in line with Craig's goals. You have to have $40 million in production, 175 closed transactions, and 10 agents doing the core work.
Minimum of 10, yeah.
Yeah, you have to have 10 agents that are, capped agents, I believe is what it
Yes.
was. You have to have 10 capped agents. So what that means, and we can apply as soon as we hit the 175 transactions and $40 million.
Yep.
At that point, the rest of the agents besides Craig go to a $4,000 cap. And that's all you pay in that revenue, whether you're in New Mexico or Colorado or wherever you're
And
at.
that's for the next year or
And
the
then-
well,
and that's-
Yes.
But for the leader on the ground, they said currently they do pay 8.
For the
Yeah,
expansion partner.
for an
Correct.
expand,
That's
so
what
if
he said,
you,
but he said if he
yeah.
was in New Mexico.
Or yeah, I'm sorry.
So
you're right.
For Real Network is our
Tippy.
corporation. It's no longer Team Tippy. It's For Real Network. He's got Team Montoya, so he's in New Mexico. He's going to pay $8,000.
Everybody under him will pay $4,000.
Pay for it, provided we're at Icon.
Correct.
He's in San Diego and Las Vegas. He's going to pay $4,000 on the team that he's in Las Vegas, and because
No,
No,
it's up to 16.
but no, it's only 8,000. I would only pay an 8,000 cap
Yeah.
wherever I sell.
Okay, fair
wherever
enough.
I sell. So I would be an 8,000 cap in San Diego.
Yeah,
And the
But I would
people
hit,
here.
but deals that I did in Las Vegas would go towards that $8,000.
you're right. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
So yeah, so you pay one cap wherever you're at because it's a virtual expansion, or it's a virtual network.
Yeah.
Brokerage, whatever.
Now, he's, so go ahead, so that's the icon test, so
That's
that
the
would be
icon.
our
Goal.
team goal.
And that's
Most likely
something
next
we can,
year.
that's something we can recruit to. Say, yeah, we're at 8,000 now, but you can come in and help us get to mega icon status, and you're only paying $4,000 in cap.
Okay.
So you end up dropping after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because So you drop that for the next year, or you drop that for?
There's an anniversary date, yeah, there's an
And
anniversary.
you have to keep mega icon status.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
And it is-
which once
It's
we hit
renewed
it,
every year, kind
yeah,
of.
once we
Yeah.
hit it, we would expect to keep it, but
Yeah.
yes, you have to qualify for it year after year.
But
Yep.
when we go in first, we're gonna be at the 8,000 first.
Correct.
correct,
Right.
yeah, we go in as a team,
Yeah.
and I'm at 16 and everybody else is at 8.
And let's just say Connor jumped in 2 months from now and we still weren't at Icon, then he would be at 8 anyway.
Because
And
he
are
would
we
be an
keeping-
expansion partner of
And
the
are we
team.
keeping the same ISA contracts no matter carrying it over, or are we?
What do you mean ISA contract?
ICA contracts, I'm sorry.
Independent contractor agreements? No,
No. Are you
no,
gonna change
because,
the split?
because my expenses change.
Okay.
Keller Williams strongly encourages us to follow their models,
Mhm.
which technically is a 25% listing split
Uh-huh.
and a 45% buyer split.
Yeah.
And so in talking with Fred and Kevin, and we can do whatever we want,
Yeah.
but in talking with Fred and Kevin, the virtual model and the reduced expenses and things like that gives us opportunity to change the splits.
Okay.
And so it kind of just depends. So in theory, this is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
We have a core level, and a core level is somebody who's brand new on the team or has not proven themselves on the team. They're a licensed agent from another organization. They go into a mentorship program unless they get waived out of it, where their mentor gets 10% of their first 3 transactions. Then they graduate out of core, but they're still in a first level. And between 0 and 12, this is their split. And this is hypothetical.
Yeah, and he doesn't know.
Nothing's in
he doesn't know
writing yet.
Right, okay.
From 12 to 24, it is this split.
Transactions, right? Not-
Transactions, in fact, I don't even wanna do listing buyer, I actually wanna just, I don't care if it's your.
Transactions, period.
Yep, I don't care if it's buyer, seller, it's just gonna come down to the cost on the selling side. If you wanna pay the cost, I'll give you that savings.
Okay.
So it's all in discovery,
Right.
these are hypotheticals. So 12 to 24, this would be the commission split.
So,
you
24
would
and
get more.
above,
You would get
24 and above, it would be the best split that you could get. And it would reset just like a cap would.
so you're gonna be the broker?
On your
Um,
anniversary.
Unless you sustained a certain amount of
Yeah.
transactions per month,
Okay.
okay?
So
Like if you hit 24, hold that thought, if you hit 24 deals with me, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm on my 25th deal, and then you let your production dive,
Mhm.
you're going to reset and you're gonna go back to probably the 12 to 24. I don't know that you would ever go back to the bottom.
0 to 3, yeah.
Yeah.
But we would, as a team, we would discover that. We would say, this is what makes sense.
What?
So cap is lower,
No, 0 to 12.
splits are lower, okay? So what you missed that we were talking about was
13 to 20.
EXP has a
0 to 3
mentorship
is
program
20%.
where we
0 to 3 is
can
10%,
apply
3 to 12 is
and we
splits.
most likely will
12
get
is 12.
accepted, that we don't have to have an outside mentorship.
Okay.
EXP has this thing that all new agents and all new teams, they have to have their first 3 transactions done through an EXP mentor, and they pay out 20%. 10% goes back to EXP, because you're gonna have additional support and all that with their employees, and then 10% goes to the mentor.
It's also like there's a education that's built into that as well.
Yeah, there is.
That's similar to.
Yeah, so here, we would pass it off to producing agents, so that would be an additional revenue stream for them.
Got it.
Because that's one
if they
thing.
elected it.
That's one thing too, is Team Tiffy, moving forward, hopefully get the 0 to 3 transactions with EXP waived.
And then we would do it
And then we
internally.
would do it internally.
And we would just call it core. And then, so every first person, unless they petitioned out, and I think that we would create our own ALC. Like, I really think that we would have our core people that are a couple of leadership, a couple of seasoned agents, a couple of new agents, and we do it for a term. They vote on these things and they say, this is what we wanna do. Because as the market's shifting, we're gonna continue to have to shift. What other revenue streams do we have? There's revenue opportunities for our transaction coordinator to not only do the transactions for our team, but then also do the transactions for the people that recruit that are not on our team. So I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about the revenue share, because it's still a little gray for me, but basically it still has this downline, and here's what I learned today. Well, no, I learned it last night. But at Keller Williams, your #1 source of profit share is your first line. So for those of you who name me as a sponsor, I get you into production, you are actually gonna give me 50% of your profit as your sponsor. At revenue share, it's actually the number 2. So, in theory, and we'll use an example here, I'm trying to find somebody who recruited someone.
Well, Shannon.
Yeah.
I recruit them back here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, so here's what would happen, let's hypothetically, so you're the one that actually got in touch with him, right? Cause
He gave him the number and I called him.
okay, who are you naming?
As my
Sponsor. At Keller Williams. Okay, fine, so we're gonna say you need John Doe, we're gonna say you need John Doe, because I don't want you to be, so let's assume I recruited you. No, I gotta use somebody
I
else.
used you, so I.
Yeah, you're a bad example, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Okay, so you recruit John Doe, okay, at Keller Williams.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a hypothetical, guys, but this is how I think it's gonna go. You named me.
Yeah.
Okay, at Keller Williams, and you recruited John Doe, and John Doe's sitting right here. And we made the decision to leave the Keller Williams. My intention is for all of you guys to name me, and here's why. We can all recruit to your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth downline, because that's where there's more money. So your second recruit will yield you more money. I actually get the least amount of money in my first line. But what it does is it allows me to get into business with anyone and say, hey, you know what, you were influential, we're gonna put you behind Fernanda. We're gonna put you behind Deanna. And it puts me in control. That even if they liked me and they joined EXP because of me, I can put them under you.
And then you would have.
Keller Williams is a little more complicated. Okay, I mean, we had a situation where Diane should have named me because you got compensated. She really wanted to name Arsenio. That was important to her. And so I said, you know what, fine. I did some research and I said, here's the gift of profit share. You're the first guy that I know that doesn't have a license and isn't an admin that got profit share. Have Diane name you. Because it's, at the end of the day, we want to do the right thing for the person. So my goal would be that. However, let's say it's obvious he needs to name you. Then you would name me, we go to KeyXP, and then we park him behind you. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But that would be the goal. Because it's gonna give me more control, and as I recruit, and as you guys start helping me recruit, and you have conversations, and I take over kind of a team leader at Keller Williams position, you would be able to.
They joining us for
I wanted everybody who's, don't. I wanted everybody in my world, that past and present, to be here today.
Josephine immediately.
To be here today to understand where I'm going, why I'm going there, and I just wanted, yeah.
They're gonna make their own decision.
These are all still very important people in Team Tiffany,
And we know that,
so,
and they're dear to us too.
yeah, so.
And so another thing too that was worried about me was the publicly traded aspect of it, because at some point, shareholders will have more power than real estate agents, and they said that's
So
kind
you
of
better
opposite.
EXP's been
buy
around for 10
shareholders all
years.
the time.
Yeah,
EXP's
because
been around 10 years, guys.
And that's what I asked is when will it start be appeasing to a shareholder and not the agent? And he informed us that the CEO is more agent, or the
Agent.
Vice president.
Vice president and CEO are more agent driven and will do everything for the agents as of now.
So they have it set up, and it's not real clear to us, I'm sure it'll get more clear as we get on board, but they have it set up so where they used to just give out numbers of shares, so you joined and they'd go, here's your 50 shares for joining, and now they go, here's your $250, just, that's
Worth
a
of
number I
shares.
made.
Yeah,
Worth of shares.
So they probably have a pool of so many shares that as soon as you cash out, then the pool of shares decreases.
And we checked some financials, and one of the things that we liked was the fact that they only retain up to 50% of the profit,
Yeah.
and they give
50% of the profit away.
over as revenue share, and I think that was really important to know. So the question was, well, Craig, what happens if EXP folds? What happens?
Go to KW.
Open your own brokerage.
No, open your own brokerage.
We are primed at that point for me to make the decision, do I just hire a broker?
Yeah, but you're getting a license right now, right?
But I will never be the broker. Because that's the highest level of liability, I will always pay somebody to play that role, always. It's too much liability.
So, and if you think about the virtual brokerage model, you're almost a brokerage and a brokerage. It's really just, it's already outsourcing the brokers.
So, but my question is, if we go with them, who's gonna be a broker, like you?
They have a broker.
Yeah,
They broker.
EXP is the brokerage.
Yeah, everything is through this, so if you have something set up.
But there's an
No,
online
broker
broker,
manager,
or
I think
it's
something
a
about
The
physical?
broker's actually, I believe in Town Square is where the physical broker's
That's what
office
I'm
is.
saying.
But everything is done online. Everything is done virtually. You can
And-
talk to the broker, you can see their little avatar, and you can say, hi, broker. But the way it works, with EXP is the broker, and then the broker has a bunch of sub-brokers that handle different aspects of transactions, and then they have like broker transaction
Kinda how like
coordinators.
Forrest Barbie does it at
Yeah.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Exactly.
And you can, and in this EXP world, they actually, you can walk up to a little desk, like a little help desk, and ask any questions.
My kids
Right
are
now,
gonna be like, what are you
for
doing?
right now.
Kinda cool, actually.
And for right now, it's only 11 hours a day, but eventually, I don't know what
It's
the
gonna be
timeline was,
24
hours a
it'll
day.
be 24 hours a day eventually.
It's like the Wii, you know, you have the little.
Yeah, I mean, even Sharon's not available 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
She's gonna stop answering her phone.
Right, and then who goes to Sharon directly?
I did have, yeah, so,
We really
so,
go with Craig.
so I had a conversation with Jason yesterday. I had a coaching call with him yesterday, and he is in support.
Wait, who?
Jason Abrams,
Okay,
my
your
coach,
coach.
he's in support. He wants me to do my due diligence. What he doesn't realize is that I've already done it, because unbeknownst to Jason, I know that Gary Keller pays him. Yeah, you don't even know that, but he's a paid
Yeah.
spokesperson.
Yeah.
I found, yeah, so is Cody Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
We found that out. We did some research, got some information. He's a paid person, which is why I got to go to Gary Keller. That was,
Oh
that,
my-
they thought they would have shut this whole thing down with me and we were good. And you know what? If Gary wouldn't have promised me something, I don't wanna use promise, assured me that something was gonna happen by family reunion, and it hasn't. And if I wouldn't have the pressure that I'm having from one of my expansion partners in Michigan, where I'm about ready to lose her completely, and she's got 7 licensed agents ready to do business.
Wow.
And she's just waiting on us, and I can't deliver on that. So,
Interesting.
that, I was always trying to find a workaround, and it wasn't until last week that I started getting these emails.
Mhm.
And then the market center's just kind of telling us what we're gonna do and what we're not. I was really upset when Shirley reached out to some of you guys and said, because you're not at GLVAR, you can't talk KW, I don't want you wearing your name tags. I'm like, first of all, you don't have a right to go to my team and talk about team-related things.
Yeah. She
Um,
should go to you when you talk to her.
Well, yeah, she should have, and then come to find out, after I talked to Sean, she continued to have conversations with some of you. So, I just look at it as like, you know what, I don't wanna deal with all that noise, like, I just wanna sell a lot of houses.
300 homes.
What's hard with that? I wanna promote you guys, I wanna support you, and I just wanna sell a lot of homes. And I don't wanna require you to get out of bed, I just wanna hold you accountable to your activity.
Yeah.
And if you choose to get out of bed and you choose to come to the office, I wanna have space for you, I wanna have a agenda for you, I wanna have all of this stuff for you. But if you choose to log in remotely, I'm good. Why not? It's
Yeah.
your business, how do I support your business?
Yeah.
So how do you have the best of both worlds? So what I wanna know is like, what's important for all of you guys? Because I think I covered it, but there might be a few things that you go, no, this is important to me,
I
Craig.
think it's important to be in the office at least like 3 days a week.
For you, yeah, important to be in an office 3 days a week,
Me too.
okay? Okay, so, office environment.
Cause we have.
And I don't necessarily know if it's just an environment, it's just more of an office, so you
I just feel like it's your workplace.
Somebody else should probably write it. Here, you wanna write?
You focus more, you dedicate
You have
more,
somewhere-
and
you have
go.
somewhere
But if
to-
I
You
finish
don't
this,
get
then I can go
distracted.
home.
Yeah. You don't
Okay,
get
so
distracted.
physical space.
physical space.
Yeah, we're good. And all that comes with that, so, somebody answering the phone, printers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You should not have to spend any money to generate your own space. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay, good. What else?
Wait, what was the question?
Education.
what's
important to you?
Continuous
Splits.
education,
Okay, so
Splits.
Training.
training,
get
put splits
specific,
down.
get specific.
Splits is a.
Because what we haven't talked about is the training that EXP offers.
Oh,
In
okay.
addition to my
Tell me
training and the
more
market
about
center
more,
training.
what do they
Let's
have,
talk
like,
about that,
what's
Frank.
new,
I'm the
what's
most junior here.
changing?
Frank, I have the most to learn,
Talk.
okay, so,
Love the fact you're opening your mouth. Go for it. Talk.
wherever you lead, I'm going.
Okay,
So the
fair
thing,
enough.
there's that. The thing is, I've got a lot to learn from everybody here.
Sure.
So even though I step out because I have to make phone calls, your conversations
were
are
the
something
guy.
I.
We're at 12:24, Craig.
That's what I'm saying, where can do you think that we're still gonna preserve that dynamic moving forward?
Do you
Or
guys
is it
think
gonna be
What
virtual?
dynamic?
Do you feel like?
Well,
Like
yeah,
team setting,
right
being
now,
around people.
but if it's gonna be virtual, I'm not.
No,
gonna
no,
look
no,
at
no,
it.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
no,
at the
virtual.
moment that we're going right now, the way it's kind of pointed out, being the fact that we're still ISAs and everything like that, we are still gonna have
Yeah.
There's still gonna be-
Our
you're still gonna
ISAs will
have-
still be in
Yeah,
their own
you're
space.
still gonna
There's still gonna be a
Space.
physical space that everybody can go to.
Exactly.
And then we're-
A matter of the market center is more so the virtual part, so the broker,
Yeah.
you know,
And the virtual part too is more of an expansion system.
Yeah, it lets you
Then it,
go to different spaces if it's needed.
So, my thought process is, and I asked a little bit about this on the last meeting with Kevin, was we log into EXP World, we reserve a conference room.
Yeah.
We're all in the space, we've got a camera, you know, that's got all of us, that's pointing into there. And then we have other people who are not at our office for whatever reason, they're in
Could pop
vacation,
in.
they're in Las Vegas, they're in LA, they're in New Mexico, they're in virtually.
Kinda like
Make
Patty.
sense?
You're like Patty.
But we
Yeah.
can be in the office. and-
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we,
Well, you
Yeah.
can stay in the
Around you
office,
So
yeah.
generally, we.
so
if
it's
you're
really
away,
almost
you're
like
just
right
Patty.
now where you have the
Yeah.
freedom of.
Yeah, you probably see the same people you see now.
Yeah, in
Exactly.
the office, like
Yeah.
there's always 5 people that can come.
Yeah, sure.
What's important to me is having that sort of mentorship program. I think as someone who is a newer agent who's only been doing this for 6 months, I really struggled through my first contract because I didn't know what I was doing.
Mhm.
And even though I had people I could reach out to, having that specific mentor, I
Yeah.
think would have really helped me out.
Like
Okay.
someone you
Having
can be
accountability
directly
I would
go to.
have rather paid 10% of my split to a specific mentor
Me too.
than having
Right.
to, you know.
And feeling like you're bothering somebody
Yeah,
necessarily.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
so I can see
and
the
that's how-
value in
yeah.
that.
That's one of the
So
points that we.
specific mentorship.
Yes.
I agree.
Because here's what I hear you say,
Or-
even though the team's intentions are good, that we're available,
Exactly.
because of the
Yeah.
insecurity and the timing and all that, there's a
Or I
disconnect
would
to
have
say,
rather had a specific
I'm paying
person.
you,
Exactly.
therefore I'm your
Yes, I
client
agree.
specifically, and I need your help.
Exactly. Yep,
Love it,
I
okay.
agree.
Fair enough.
That's what we said about KW's pulling you from.
Well, yeah, so
Yeah.
you guys don't understand some of the red tape behind KW, and I'm not gonna deliver that today. Listen, guys, KW's in my blood. Do not misunderstand me, okay? I will promote them, I will support them, and who knows what the future brings. This is not a decision about Keller Williams.
Right.
This is the decision to say, you're doing this, I need this, I only see things getting worse right now. But there's nothing saying that maybe one day this
Yeah,
whole
do you
virtual
know-
thing takes off and I'm the guy that gets to go back to Gary Keller and say, hey, you know what, Gary? I left your ass because you're slow. This is what we did and I'm happy to bring this back to you and let's blow this out of the water. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's also important to me is, the whole having, different splits, based on what level you are on
Yeah.
in terms of contract. I think for someone who is just like a high D like myself, to be able to know that if I hit that 12th contract, I'm gonna get a different split. I
The
think
reality
that's
is,
important.
some of you, just through sheer repetition, will get really good at certain parts of your job to the point where that's going to be the conversation. I love everything about you. Your hair's beautiful. You know, you're happy. You're this, you're that. It comes down to dollars and cents. It comes down, and at some point, everybody's going to get there. Now, my job is to recruit a team-centric agent, but I want the opportunity to say, you know what, Sharon? Man, you killed it out of the park your first year. Yeah, it took you 6 months, but you figured it out, and oh my God, you did 25 deals in 6 months. Hey, you can do two things. You can graduate in the team to this, or you can now go into my world, my Team Light or whatever, my legacy program, where basically you're renting a desk from me, you're paying me for some mentorship and coaching, you're getting some of my systems, and you're keeping, 90/10, or you're paying me a transaction fee.
Okay, yeah.
I like
Like,
that.
that would be
Exactly.
awesome,
Yeah.
because
Because part of the team,
Yeah.
part of the
That's-
team.
because you're still
if you
part of
wanna-
the team.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's gonna be, it's
Keep it
75,
going.
25.
They're on my
it's
team.
motivating
If you want
because
the
it's
half
such a
cap.
high drive, and
Right.
when
Yeah.
you get to that point,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
there's
because
that
something
doesn't
more
matter.
than
So
something
Connor
that's
brings up a good point.
Exactly.
If you
Connor
wanna,
brings up a good point.
if you wanna stay at half cap though, you have to do 75-25, no matter
That's,
what.
yeah, that's.
The
You can't go
least you
under.
can pay me is 25.
But if you wanna go full cap, which actually, if
Talk
you're,
about it.
if you wanna go full cap and you're closing the deals to do full cap, then it could be a good idea because you're going to what they call an icon agent status. Where you
Means?
can, which means you can get your cap back in the form of stock.
Yeah.
So you can get a full
$16,000.
$16,000
Which is still
in
part
stock
of the
options.
forever.
So it's nice to have those options.
So there,
Right.
so there are multiple revenue options that come along with
But
it.
we still be part of your team, even
But
if
you
you do
would-
that. Even-
No, it would be different.
You
It would
would
be
be,
different.
yeah, it would.
You would be you probably would be your own expansion team.
in the
under
same
For
city.
real.
Yeah.
So
it'd
you would
be-
probably go to that $8,000,
Uh-huh.
in theory, like as a level.
Yeah.
At some point, you're gonna sit in my shoes and go, okay, well now I wanna like
Yeah.
blow this out of the water on my own, and I'm thinking, go for it, cause you're in my
Down.
profit share. So how can I help you?
Yeah.
But that's the benefit.
I'm forever attached to
Yeah,
him.
how do I grow your business, even if you're not on my team?
So, and you getting
Because I
these,
still get money from you. Like you're still,
Yeah.
you're giving me revenue, so I want her to be successful.
Exactly.
And if she grows her own team and she does her own thing, Keller Williams, I'm kind of stuck to that. I don't get it, she leaves my team, I got nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
ignites at one.
Right.
Because even if she grows her downline, I get what, 5%, I think? And then it goes to 12 at the 7th level,
Yeah.
$300.
Who cares?
She caps, I get like, what, $3,500 for her
Right.
capping?
And.
Hey, I'd love to blow up your business for you.
Right.
Because I get 35, I can get up to $4,500
Yeah.
on her 7th level.
And also, as soon as you recruit to your downline, you will also, for the first transaction, you get money in stocks. Like, you
Yeah.
get, there's multiple ways as we're starting out to get money in
so
stocks.
are we getting more leads with this,
Yeah, actually-
company?
Core actually has a funny thing.
Hold that thought, what?
We're getting more leads with this company?
Yeah, so I mean, I wanna, the company's not giving you.
Yeah,
leads.
yeah, the city.
I am
Yeah.
saving money
The
on
savings
our
will give you
costs,
leads.
and so I will be able to spend that money on leads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lead generator. So where's the
That was gonna be
plan?
my other thing of what's
Yeah, because in
important.
Brevity, we're not getting much leads
Yeah.
from receiving our leads. Yeah.
Make no mistake, my job is to provide you with leads, make no mistake.
Yeah, cause Brevity is not send us much.
I mean, you
Yeah.
say that, but, I mean, how many in this room got converted to Brivy leads in the last 7 days?
Nobody.
No, there have, because I know we've got 3 listings, we've got, the $1 million was from Brivity, the commercial agent was from Brivity last
No, it
last
was
week.
from Cole Realty. It was calling.
It was the Circle Prospecting from
Yeah,
Cole?
none of my leads came ever from Brevity ever. No.
I got, I got one for Brevity,
Okay.
but I just don't know, I don't think it's a new lead, it's an old lead.
Well, yeah, but that's part of the
Yeah, the last time I
process,
got was
nurturing.
like 2 months ago.
Okay, so we need some more,
Now
what's your,
qualified.
now.
Now quality,
Now
there,
qualified
yeah.
leads.
Yeah,
Put
fair enough.
quality up there.
I did,
Yeah.
I did. I'm already.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So what's your plan as far as CRM? Are you gonna stay with Brevity?
No.
So,
Hold
they,
on, hold on, hold
Hold
on.
on, hold on.
Hold on.
so right now we have Brevity,
Yes.
okay? So here, let's talk about fees, okay?
Okay.
So we talked about commissions, let's talk about fees. You guys pay $40 for tech fee right now as a licensed agent in this market center.
Yes.
You would be,
41.
you would be paying $85 a month
80.
to, huh?
80.
85.
85.
You would be paying $85 a month to to EXP. Because they have an educational,
Yeah,
Fee.
20 plus hours of education.
yep, and then they have a technology fee. I am exploring an opportunity of how I can subsidize some of that through, like, you close the transaction and I give you, kinda like I do with the E&O, okay?
Yeah.
I'm exploring that, because I would be the one saving on the technology, okay, let's be honest. They include SkySlope, which is basically a dot loop. They include, KV Core, which is the conversion, same one that Terry Brink's office uses. We would upgrade to KV Team Plus,
Which is only 4.
which I've already kind of gone through webinars and stuff over the weekend. It's very basic, maybe that's what you guys will like about it. For me, I'm like, this is easy, you know, this is like,
Yeah, I missed that about Boomtown.
okay, fair enough. There's some really cool stuff with it. I'll send you guys links so that you can just watch the videos. But I think it's about $400, that's what I'm being told by Kevin.
$400 a month.
So that would be the upgrade cost, and so I would absorb that, so that's gonna save me $600 a month right there, okay, which is what I plan. Now, I'm not saying I wanna transition apples for apples, I wanna save money as well, because I wanna put it back in leads. But I probably would help your technology fee in some way, however I can do it. they're probably gonna bill you, and I would have to give it to you back through transactions. And we would have some sort of, hey, you hit your transactions, I give it back to you at close of escrow, or I take, a smaller percentage like I do with the fees. So that's $85. There is a $25 broker management fee per transaction,
Which can cap.
which I am happy to pay at this time, okay, in my mind, I'm thinking I'll pay the broker transaction fee and I will pay the errors and omissions, what they call a, risk
So
assessment
he has
fee.
5,995,
Huh?
that's the fee, the 595?
Yeah, it would be part of that, yeah. Now, I don't know if that $595 fee would go up or down. That $595 is based off of Keller Williams,
Yeah.
because they charge me commission off of that. Like, I actually have to pay a split on that
That's
$595.
basically what it is.
Yeah, I do.
It's
How
a
much,
fee.
how much is the
It's
errors
not,
and
it's
omission?
commission.
How much is the errors and omission? The broker fee is 25, errors and omission is?
With them, it's 40. Yep,
So 595 is for
so it
that?
actually comes down to basically $350, it's like $388,
Okay.
but then I have to pay the taxes on that, so it comes down to about $350. So
Okay.
that's why I hit
So
$595.
it's better than here?
Yeah, so it reduces a little bit, and then there's some of those that cap.
The
Yeah,
caps
some
are,
of-
well, the caps are lower. in
So the
some
broker
of them,
fee,
okay?
the broker fee caps at $500. 500.
Yes,
Per
500.
agent.
Which one caps at 5? So one of them caps at 5,000.
So then, commission, so if I cap me as the rainmaker, I actually pay $21,000 in commission split. Because I have to pay $16,000
That's why I
when I
wrote that
cap,
down.
they're gonna charge me $250 per transaction, up to $5,000. Okay? Now, because I'm an Icon status agent, I would get up to my $16,000 back after I cap.
And in icon status, it's only a $75 transaction.
Yes, so then, so I pay $16,000, and then I'm gonna pay $250 per transaction until I hit $5,000. But while I'm paying that $5,000 back, I'm actually earning part of my 16 back.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Once I pay the $5,000, it now drops down to $75 per transaction, which I don't pay back. Somebody please close that.
Yeah, that's, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
that.
But that happens here. Here it's a $25.
So the only thing we need to worry about right now is the $85 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out how we can subsidize that. Okay, I would still charge the transaction fee. My intention would be, to pay the 40, the 25, and I think the, tech fee, because they break it out.
Yeah, so wait, but the 40 and the 25 is the same as the 95, right? So wouldn't that have to be passed off
Yeah,
to the
that
buyer
doesn't change,
seller?
because I pay your errors and omissions insurance fee, I pay the capper fee, because you,
Which comes from the 595 that the buyer seller pays already.
right,
So that would just be passed
Yeah,
off.
you're right, you're right, that's exactly how it works.
And it would be cheaper for the buyer seller.
Yep. So,
That would take.
one of the things I like is that at AXP, I can kind of create my own model, provided I'm netting the profit margin that I want to net. And my goal would be
You
a
made him pay that too?
my goal would be a 33% profit margin.
What? You made him pay
Doesn't
that?
mean we're gonna get there.
I don't even know.
Fred and Kevin are trying for a 20%.
Yeah.
But they are
said they were at
expanding.
They were at 9%.
Yeah, 1 year. But they're in an expansion model where they have more costs and all that stuff. We're not in an expansion model yet. So my goal would be to get 33%, which is basically a third. Okay? A third of our money goes to cost, a third of our money goes directly to the agent's bottom line, and a third of it goes to profitability of the team. That would be my goal. And how do we get there? Because if I'm not taking it from your split, how do I get it? And I just gotta figure it out. And so I had another conversation with Fred and Kevin to talk about their actual economics. And then I'll work that out.
Okay.
What other questions?
That's a lot of money.
I just have a question about like the check, so is the
Direct
check?
deposit to your account
Oh, yeah.
within 24 hours.
Cool.
Provided everything in Sky Slope is correct. Yeah.
Well,
All your paperwork.
Yeah.
But
They won't
that
close
would be-
it.
that would be
Like here.
pattern.
Paperwork,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll just get a few-
They won't close the file until it's in compliance.
Yeah.
And so our goal, which I love the fact that it's all transparent, you don't have to log into my system. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
you
best
have
thing.
to-
How long does
Everybody
it-
sees the same system.
How long does it normally take to get a check?
Well, when I came here, one of the selling points is, oh, we're gonna give you a check the same day by 5 o'clock if we get the package by noon, because I came from direct deposit.
Okay,
So I was told,
That
well, we're
doesn't
gonna give it to you same day by 5
so
if
that's
you.
not the case.
So
how
now
long
I'm
is it?
told
It's not.
24 hours after the package has been received, and I think Green Sheet approved or something like that.
So that's not direct deposit, you have to get the check, right?
Here,
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 you
yeah.
pick the check up.
EXP, it's direct.
And it takes a long time.
Yeah, there it's direct deposit.
Then you gotta go to the bank
That's-
and.
We got 21
That's
minutes.
Yeah.
So, what are some other questions? Because one
I
thing I
wanna know
want.
who's going and who's staying.
Well, okay, this is Heidi.
Joseph, I know.
Gee, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
This is what it's all about.
You've been listening to all the conversations from before, so
Yeah, it's like-
you already know.
He's just like,
You want me to pack up this weekend? I'm
And I
like,
want
slow
boxes
down.
collected and bring it to my office.
bottom line now.
Craig, when were you planning on moving everything?
Well, so let's talk about culture for a second.
Okay.
I wanna work really hard to preserve this culture, because,
Exactly.
I mean, you know, I made the comment on the phone to you guys on Friday, and that came from my heart. But make no mistake, I had to coach to have that conversation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I saw you guys walking down the hallways with your heads down, and I could feel the pressure on you that I instill upon you. And even though, like, I don't think anybody in this room is like throwing it back at me, like all you care about is my numbers, no. I really care about your numbers, but my world doesn't revolve around your numbers. I had to have somebody coach me that morning to say, listen, like your team is awesome, and these guys are probably the most cultural people in this building. You should be very proud. I'm like, I am proud, maybe I don't say it enough. And so we coached around that, and I said, listen, you know, I want you guys to kind of relieve that valve a little bit. Like I had an awesome weekend, because as much as I'm preaching it, I had the same pressure. Like I had to go up to Mount Charleston, I had to like let it all go for the weekend, because this is a big deal.
Enough energy.
I'm like standing over here going, I'm not going anywhere, and the cost, and oh my God, I'm gonna lose half my team. Like my mind has been all over the place. But at the end of the day, I went back to those 3 core things, and I said, well, why do I even have a team? Why do I even, because I technically, guys, I mean this without insulting anybody, I can make a lot more money without a team.
Yeah, I used to tell them that all the time, I'm like, we'll just go.
Yeah, I literally can make a lot more money without a team. I got out of production last year and focused solely on coaching and growing the team, and I lost $150,000. And I was happy to do that, because I know it'll pay dividends tenfold. Because this is a delayed
It's an
gratification
investment.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
investment.
100%.
And I'm passionate about being on this end. Like, I actually don't wanna go out there and sell a home. I truly don't,
You
because
never
it's not
liked
the best,
that.
I never liked it, it's not the best use of my time. Like, I'm looking at Dr. Beatty right now, and I'm going, like, another agent on my team probably could have closed him by now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, listen here, motherfucker, you know, I don't care if you sell your home or not, it's not changing my mortgage, I want that. But some of you guys would, you'd be like, no, please, one more offer, please do it for me, I need the money, please. And he would have been, okay, yeah, he would have done it for you, okay, I'll sign it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
It's sold?
No.
No, but he got an offer, and we were $10,000 away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, I'm not dealing with you, I'm good, I don't care. And I truly do care. So I'm much better on this side, having that conversation
Give
with
that
you
to
guys.
us so we can close him.
I get it.
He loves us.
So,
He loves
I wanna
us.
preserve that culture, and so one of the things that I wanna do is I wanna have some sort of like reward opportunity where, you know, we have like, you know, we do some sort of, here's our.
Team night?
Yeah, well,
More frequently?
I think we
Yeah.
should, I think we should have our own first capper, and we should have, because I think these things are important. Recognition to you guys is really, really important. I say it's not important to me, but you know how I felt when I got the Icon Award? Like, a part of me says I can't move Keller Williams because I got the award. Like, how does that truly affect my core? And no, I should be leaving because I am the icon.
Yeah.
Because you are not doing what you say you're going to do, and therefore talk is cheap. And they need to know that.
I agree with that.
So culture is really big. How do we create that culture? How do we create our own events? I've reached out to lenders already, and I've said, how are you gonna plug into my team at a higher level? You know, how are you gonna pay for some big coaches to come in and coach my team or my own little mini brokerage? Because one of the things you're all gonna get that you don't realize yet is you're gonna be able to coach with all kinds of different people. You don't have to just coach with people who are KW centric.
Yes.
Because there is no coaching program yet at EXP. There isn't. And if you were on the call this morning where I was talking about this hypothetical guy, yeah, I could see a coaching program launching. And I could see this thing being really big. Maybe it starts out Vegas centric, but then it grows into a national opportunity. But it's a virtual coaching, like it's about real estate agent of the future, technology driven. How do we get an agent who is, you know, who's not a salesperson to sell homes.
Yes, because see, like, that's like 35 and up, they're still on the face-to-face, but the new age, they're all about digital.
All in.
And I'm losing those clients,
Sure.
because I'm not digital.
Absolutely. So culture was a really big thing for me. Then you said, when would we make the decision to leave? Well, let's assume we did a vote and we wrote it down and we actually got an all yes, an all no, and a maybe. I already have my list, but
Can we just go ahead?
everybody would say, you know, I'm a maybe, let me think about it, send me the videos, I get it.
Can we just go ahead and do that right now?
We will.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
I turned into dress feed over there.
Here's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like the second I conclude this meeting,
You're
the
gonna
cat's
make-
out of the bag.
You're gonna make a
Oh,
short
well.
walk to Sean's office?
I am going to beeline
He's
to
gonna
Sean's
beeline.
office because it's the right thing to do. And I have to assume that you guys are just gonna tell people and it's just gonna, the word is gonna go and I'm gonna get a phone call from Terry.
Everywhere.
I'm gonna get a phone call from Jason because he's gonna get a phone call from Gary. Like
Yeah.
Kevin's already told me, Kevin said, dude, you have no idea what's gonna, like, if you got a meeting with Gary, they all think you're good, but when they find out you're not,
Your cash could go.
they are going to like, you know, hand you your license and say, be out of here by 5 o'clock.
Really?
They're gonna get a hold of the rest of the agents and give you guys awesome splits and tell you, hey, here's the cart and we're gonna give you, you know, the cow's milk.
I never
There's no
joined
cap.
Keller Williams because Keller Williams.
Yeah.
So I want you to know, like, you could get, I don't know that would happen here.
I don't think they'd do
I
that.
don't think so either.
That'd be against
I
culture.
don't know, it could be
You
a
never
lot of
say.
stuff.
Yeah, but be
We're
prepared.
doing a lot of things against culture right now.
Like, I never thought that they would sweeten cap deals, like, I don't know if anybody who has a preference that they do a cap management where they bring you on, they say, hey, we'll push your cap by 12 months,
Yeah.
keep you at 100%, but at the end of the day, they get their money. I don't know that they would give you a reduced loyalty and all that, but he says they did,
Kevin,
man.
yeah, Kevin did, or one of them.
Kevin said Gary will like, here you go, keep them,
Yeah, here, just pay
and
your
I'm not,
$3,000.
and I'm not interested, I've already made the decision.
Just pay your
If
$3,000.
that's, if I had to do what I had to do in order for you to do what you just did, we shouldn't be in business anyways. We shouldn't be in business anyways.
Well, maybe he's just thinking in his left brain too much, I don't know. Maybe, I
I
don't know.
think there's a bigger fight out there that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm just now opening my eyes to it. Imagine if I would've opened my eyes 12 months ago. So, do we have any other questions?
Just one about the $85 monthly fee.
Yep.
So just for example, like Buzz and Keller Williams in New Mexico there, and here I'm paying 45 for both.
No.
So it's just one.
Well, you would pay transactional
No,
costs.
he said Keller Williams.
Yeah, so yeah, you pay $245
Oh, yeah.
a month to
Yes.
Keller Williams,
Yes.
EXP, you're only paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
180,
depends
yeah.
per brokerage, so
But-
you could go to one in New Mexico that actually says, actually, our monthly fee is.
But actually, for what we're doing short term, and even if you wanted to say, you know what, Craig, we got off the ground together and now I want you to just sponsor my own, team, this is actually a better business transaction.
Because,
It is.
because
And
you
you
can
want-
take, you can take the $16,000 and then just
More
take a
moldable.
90-10 split or
Right.
95-5, you know, that kind of thing.
Cause also, guys, you don't have the borders, you don't have the boundaries like you have with a brick and mortar where your license is hung in this physical location.
Yeah.
And you can only sell real estate in a certain radius around it. You don't have those. Now, there are some states that still have a radius because it's a broker who can manage their people. But I think, EXP has overcome that in most states, and we don't have a problem here. We can sell statewide, like, we could literally expand into Reno tomorrow and say, boom, I got an agent on the ground, here we go, let's sell some homes.
Can I go with him?
It affects her cap, it automatically goes towards her cap, and she
There
pays
you
nothing
go.
additional
Yep.
for it.
There you go.
It's literally, and you're using the same system here as you're using there.
Yeah.
The only thing we have to do is pay for the division
So Brian,
information.
to answer your question, it's only it's one $85 fee and one cap.
It travels with
Did
you
I
wherever
just,
you go.
I apologize if I missed the answer to this already, when were you planning on making your decision?
So my question is, when is the team planning on making their decision?
No, already made, yeah, is this
Yeah.
like something that may happen, like,
Yeah.
within the next
Can you
week?
put
We
the
have,
or
we
something
have,
that's
we
like-
have 11 minutes to make a decision.
So-
So,
I am at the mercy of the market center.
Okay,
I've made my decision.
okay.
Because I've been dealing with this for a couple weeks now, and it got really purposeful in the last 5 days, and I can't figure out a reason not to. Like, I'm devil's advocate, like, I'm playing the game, and I'm like, no,
What's the month are we looking at?
no, it's
Like-
them,
It's
they
like
can tell me
they
to get
can
out
kick
of
us
here
It's
today.
like kick us out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
They
With
could.
boxes at the store.
I don't think, I don't know No, listen up. I don't think that they would ask me to leave, because I'm not a,
Sure.
I'm not a I am a
Disturber.
disruptor, but I'm not a disturber.
Sure,
Yeah.
so if they
And
don't
you already
disturb
pay
you,
rent
in
this
a
month.
perfect world, if you had time, when would it be? June, May? I
So
heard something about your
it takes,
cap.
it takes EXP, if we all did our onboarding today, it would take EXP about 7 days to complete the entire
Okay.
process.
Yeah.
So listen,
Okay,
and we would
and
try and
Sharon
out
says
before
we
you
can
have to pay
still
rent.
do business.
I'd be smart.
Everything that's under
Okay.
contract would still close here.
Okay.
Nothing changes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that
if
was
we-
why I asked what the
All right,
timeline
yep.
was in terms of.
Nothing
what
changes.
was
I asked
happening.
We would
Yeah.
move all of our listings to EXP
Got
at
it.
the time that we're
Cancel your
at
expo.
EXP.
So then you're basically looking to be gone by April? If everybody agrees, are you looking to be gone by
I
April?
think that's a good number to put on the
Okay.
books.
I wanna be gone next week.
Yeah, we
already
could still
moved everything
physically
around.
come here and we would not even in the space, like that could
Got
happen.
it, okay.
Okay,
Would
but
it be easy to move as fast as can?
But I
Because
talked to
if we get
Sharon.
Deals, we don't have to pay the cap here.
So I talked to Sharon, and Sharon said that
Sunday.
she is the one who
Bye-bye.
personally makes the decision as to whether she's gonna hand me our licenses, my license, you guys would follow, or if she's gonna mail it in. She says, if I mail it in, I have 10 days to do it, and you could be sitting there holding your hands. She says, but I would hand you your license, Craig, trust me, I will fight anybody. At the end of the day, I'm the broker, nobody can take that away. Sharon is in our corner. Sharon has actually been on these calls.
Does she wanna come too?
And everybody thinks it was you. Nobody's asked. But Sharon has been involved in our conversations with EXP from a discovery standpoint.
She's
I've
been
never
sharing
mentioned her
mine.
name, but when she logged in on the computer, it said Sharon, and everybody thinks it's you. Just telling you.
So.
Thanks for the backup, I appreciate
Do
it.
you guys think she should come along too, or do you think she should
Don't know,
stay here?
she just wanted to know about it, she
Okay.
wanted to support us.
Sure.
And she doesn't know what's happening in the
Okay.
future.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
She's
She
smart.
might gonna be retiring.
Yeah, Craig, you got
And then
9
put a
minutes.
question mark on the,
Out.
yeah, so out, and then, no, so in, out, question mark. Another
That
column.
line.
Another column.
What do you mean?
Where the
Some
questions
people-
are.
Okay.
some people in this room are high Cs, they don't make instantaneous decisions.
all right,
Going through that?
All
I'm
right?
ready,
So
I'm
where we
being,
start?
I'm done.
Alright, so
Done
who's
with-
in?
Well,
Let's start over there.
Just
Raise your hand.
start with one person and say in.
And I would just
So go
put
around the
initials,
circle.
I would put like first name initial, last name initial.
Just tell me your initial if you're in, so I know it, 'cause I don't know. if
Okay,
you're-
just start from the beginning, just start Brandon. Brandon,
In.
And
Connor.
CNs.
PBN.
PBN?
PB&J.
That's where I went.
Okay,
ABN.
GPN.
JVN.
I think we're done.
no, we just gotta.
No, it's important to hear everybody.
Brandon, how are you?
Reservation, yeah.
We're almost done.
We are like 4 minutes from being
Sorry,
done.
B, okay,
We'll reset the room for you.
Okay, we'll do it at the same time.
Okay. I'm on,
FM and FBN.
Facebook?
We're just here for fun.
Oh, no, they're not part of the team, so they don't have to say anything.
That's fine. No,
Yeah.
they were here to discover. I asked them to come.
okay.
So Patty? Not like she has much of a choice. We're taking
Patty,
a
you in?
we're taking a laptop with us.
Yeah.
All right,
Alright, so let's keep that.
are these our sheets?
Our sheets.
So
Are we gonna